what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I haven't been on here in a minute, but I'm trying to get back on my YouTube grind. So I was like, you know what? Let me hop on here. Let me start making another video. So she's back. She is working on it. But today I kind of want to talk about like human nature and just like the world around us. I guess pretty simple, but a deep conversation actually. Originally I'd made a video like a few days ago talking about money management, but my computer is fucking stupid and deleted the footage. And I'm like, oh, I hate everything. Like, if you're like somebody that does YouTube or something, you'll understand. Like, or just films videos. I filmed a 40-minute video, right? And I was like, oh, slay, like it's done. Like, I'm gonna edit it after. And I go, gone. Gone. No, nothing. I don't know why. It's like the video didn't even load. And I was like, what the frick, man? Like, I just sat here for 40 minutes yapping and you didn't record my video. It's crazy. But, anyways, so today I wanted to talk about like human nature and, stuff like that. And just basically, and like the world around us, and just basically like how my journey has been and basically how I've come to develop some of my understandings. So, for those of you that don't know, I am a history major. I'm very interested in, like things like politics, history, all that jazz. And so basically originally I was a crim major, and so I switched over from a crim major to history. And so during that my history time, because I'm also looking at politics as well, during that time when I started taking classes, at first I wasn't really interested in like the politics aspect. I was really like confused for the first time, but then again, like I'm going from criminology, like forensics, to like law, so I was kind of like, you know, but but yeah, and then I started taking this one professor's class, and he talks about philosophy a lot in the class, and I've actually really found out that I am very interested in philosophy. Actually, the philosophical aspect of pretty much anything, psychology, math. Oh, I hate math, but like, like stuff like that. The philosophy, I guess, basically, of all that, you know, is really interesting to me actually. It's very eye-opening. And the thing is about philosophy, and I love this teacher actually because he's so like great, and his mannerisms like really bring to life the importance of philosophy and human nature. It's so funny because when you see this guy, he's very like, I wouldn't say materialistic, but he's very like not how you expect him to be, not very like you don't expect him to be very like in tune with nature and the world, and all that. You expect him to be like a you know, like a regular normal day person, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But the thing is that we've been really getting into like philosophy. We've been talking about like Nietzsche and Marx and Aristotle and Socrates and Plato and blah 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 blah. The list goes on. Um, and I've just come to learn that I've actually really found a lot of these works interesting, and I actually kind of like it more than my history lessons. But um, something that I've come to learn, minus the government aspects to a lot of those philosophers, like of course most of their ideas are focused on government. But what I found interesting is that I really like the way they talk about humans, about us. And there's this a guy, I think he died. I don't remember his name. He's like a British broadcaster. Oh, what's his name? And he would basically talk about like how we're destroying the world or something like that. If you guys know his name, please put it in the comments because I don't know why I can't remember his name right now. But he's a British broadcaster, and he would talk about stuff like that, and that basically how like we're killing the world, and how basically we have destroyed our basic human natures, And I kind of agree with him because look at how much of like all this shit we have. Like, it's so unnecessary. We don't need that. We, at the end of the day, we are animals, Like, we're developed from, I know a lot, like science. It's so interesting to hear about this because science says it's apes or monkeys, but then the Bible says it's fish, or somebody said it was fish. I don't remember who, because that's how like we got our eyes or something like that. I remember hearing that somewhere. Somewhere like somebody, maybe it was a philosopher. I don't really remember the Bible. Somebody said like we got our eyes from fish. That's why we can't see out of the sides um of our eyes, because if we were like, any other, not that all animals are like this, but they're just comparing it to fish, you know? So it's kind of like interesting. So you don't really know what we're derived of other than what people are saying, because that could be lies. You never know. You know, we could even not be a species of animal, but what we know is that we're a species of animal, and I would like to assume that we are some types of animals. We're just more sophisticated and advanced animals, ones that can talk and think like more, but I'm not saying that maybe other animals don't have the abilities to do what we have, maybe in the near future. I don't know. I can't answer that. But it's just interesting because my teacher, he's always like, no, philosophy isn't for everybody. Like this talk about like human nature and this talk about like the world, really really making people open their eyes and think about the world around them. It's not for like everybody. Like a lot of people will not necessarily disagree, but they'll just blow it off and continue living in um their lives with what they know as like the social norms, right? Um and like I guess I can kind of relate to that because I've learned all this stuff and it's just so eye-opening to me, and I wish people could understand like how I feel now learning this stuff. Like oh my gosh, like it kind of feels like everything you know is a lie and that you shouldn't even know this. Um I'm not trying to diss the government or anything. I'm more talking about like everything like that's made up around us. All this is like completely unnecessary. And it's just like all we need in life is water and food and human connection. That's literally it. And it's just so fascinating to me that humans over time, human beings have developed all these unnecessary things. Yeah, like they're cool, don't get me wrong, and it's been very progressive in I just noticed my matcha is leaking all over my table. Um anyways, it's very progressive for, the future and these cities and all that. Like that's great, But it's not necessary to our lives, and we don't really need it. It's not a necessity. A necessity is food, water. That's those are necessities. That's what we need in order to survive. We don't need a fucking home goods shopping spree. We don't need little shit. We don't. You know what's crazy? I'm so mad that video deleted. We don't need money. I went like on a whole spiel about how we don't need money, and money is just a made up concept. But because of capitalist ideas, we've known to. Oh my gosh, why can't I speak? We believe that money is like now a main necessity of the three. So, like I said, the three are food, water, and human connection. So, let's just fuck human connection, or you could put it four, and money is somehow in there. And it's like, money is just numbers. Numbers are just, at the end of the day, made up. Numbers were just made up for organization. So was money. Money is made up for organization. It's was made as a currency so that like we know like, oh, you're gonna buy this, oh well then this is this much, so it's not just here you go. That was all made up concepts. We all made this up. None of this in the real world. If there was no houses, no cars, no, please ignore the helicopter, no houses, no cars, no anything like that, right? And it was just fucking trees and water, and we had no clothes, anything like that. None of this shit would matter, right? What would matter is your survival. And once again, your survival would consist of food, water, and human connection, right? So none of this means anything. And it's just so eye-opening to hear this from like it's funny because you get to hear like all these different philosophers' ideas about the concept of human nature. Like one will say this, or one will say that, or one will fight about humans' rights, or something like that. Or one will disagree. It's really interesting because you get to hear different perspectives. But my teacher was basically like, philosophy is not for everyone, but philosophy is not for everyone, but people should know about it because it's so interesting. And actually, apparently, they're not supposed to teach it in school, but they do it anyway. So, anyways, because they don't want you to know about it. And then I don't even think it's like a philosophy aspect. I think that's like a self journey kind of aspect as well. You kind of just need to discover what you believe and what you want out of your life, And sometimes you'll kind of just come upon these things. Like one day I'll just be sitting here and you'll be like chilling and I'll just be like, "Oh shit. Like I have free will." Like I know me sometimes like I'll be like, at school and like, I've become like into this norm that I just, I get up, I go to class, I go home. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Sometimes I'll be like walking down to my car and I'll be like, "Oh shit. I have free will. I could go to the library if I want to. I could go get a cup of coffee. I could do whatever the fuck I want. At the end of the day, I could do whatever the fuck I want. But of course, there are rules that have been made. I mean, minus the cup of coffee thing. Like, it's not like I can just go like, rob a store and call it a day. Oh, I can rob a store and call it a day. Like, no, it's not. It's not anything like that. I'm just saying that like when it comes to those like that, like of course, there's rules for that, and there should be rules for that. There should be something like that. But like there should be consequences for things like that. Like that's not okay. And that's fine. But all this other stuff like is completely unnecessary. Um and it's just kind of like an interesting concept to think about what if we didn't have all this stuff? What if we were just, naked animals? Naked animals running around, living life. Living the vida loca. Anyways, I'm so done. Goodbye. But you know what I mean? What if we didn't have any of this stuff? What would you do? Honestly, what would you do? There's nothing. We would be living in a utopia practically. I mean, would everything be perfect? Probably not. But would we be living in some type of utopia where there's nothing to worry about and we can all live our lives semi calmly? Yeah, and we're all content and happy? Yeah, I think so. I think my thing is personally that, again, someone, whoever it was, created this structure, this pyramid of how our lives are supposed to be. They wanted to organize how our lives are supposed to be, which at the end of the day, they don't get to pick how our lives are supposed to be. We have control. This is your life. You know, you get to do whatever you want. It's not theirs. Like, sure, people can have opinions, but at the end of the day, it's not theirs to be like, you're born, you get a job, that's it. It's not you. That's funny. It's not their job to tell you what to do. You don't have to do that if you really don't want to. Oh my gosh, I just realized my hands are all like cut up. Look at my finger. You see that? No, that's really bad. Wait. Look at that. That hurts. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm like so like all over the place today. But yeah, like they don't really get to decide that, and it's just really interesting. It kind of like makes me want to go like to like some random island and just like live off grid. Build my house up from like the freaking sticks and stuff like that. Live with the animals out there. You know, it's just so funny to me because we've created like all these unnecessary things like fucking I love home decor. I love home decor, but do we really need it? No. Do we really need like stuff like that? No, we really don't. We just need the basic necessities. At the end of the day, like I said, we're just animals. We're just animals that are intellectual, I guess, but some animals it's been proven like in science some animals that are what the fuck? Some animals, not us, some other animals like are smart as well, or they're becoming smarter, So, oh my god, I'm start choking. So how do we know that one day that these animals aren't going to like later in the future? How do we know that one day they're not going to develop into some other offspring or breed of us, of human beings or something like that? Like we can't really control that. We don't really know that. But at the end of the day, it's just fascinating to think about how through time we have developed all these things that now control our lives. And again, we don't really have to listen to them, but the thing is that we choose to listen to them because we know, or not know, we are told that it's safe. Like, I think it's Plato. Plato's like allegory of the cave is actually like a great representation of this. For those of you that don't know what this is, so it's basically him talking about. I'm totally gonna explain this terribly. Um, so like basically like it's these men and or like people. Sorry, I thought they were men, but these people in a cave and they're prisoners. And so like you know how a cave like has like an opening, right? Okay, so the sun is shining through this cave, and the prisoners are being able to see the shadows projected onto the cave of what's being displayed outside. Now, this is supposed to represent like the government or what the government's telling you or something like that. And the sun is supposed to represent good. I don't really recall that much about it, but I can get into it later if you guys really want me to do my research about it. Um, but yeah, and then so one prisoner one day is like, oh, I'm gonna escape. So he escapes, goes out of the cave, and he discovers that the world isn't actually what the shadows are portraying. And so he comes back and he's like, guys, like, this isn't real. Like, this is all made up. They're making this shit up. Like, da da da. But the prisoners feel so safe and, comfortable in this prison that they don't believe this other prisoner. And they're like, nah, we're not going to go out and find out. And that's the thing, like, here. You have to go and find this out for yourself. If this is what you believe and if this is what you're into, like you could listen to me, but that doesn't mean you'll agree with me. You have to go out and discover this journey for yourself. If this is what you believe, you know, it's not, oh, I tell you and you listen to me. Like you can believe me, but you will never fully understand until you go and discover it yourself. You can just hear my opinion, you know. But basically, I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm so scared that my video footage might delete. But I think I'm pretty good. If it deletes, I'm gonna be so mad right now. I don't know why my laptop's been acting up. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want, I can totally go into another video about the allegory of the cave and all that. Or I could go back into that financial video, the money video. I'm so mad that deleted, by the way. But anyways, so I'm probably gonna come back with something like that, or maybe something a little bit more fun. I don't know. I will see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.